Hello dear viewer, I'm leesusss and welcome to a brief look at Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. A brief look, well this is not going to be a full Let's Play, it's just a fun game that I thought I would show a couple of vids of before we move on to the next series. This is actually a series of games as well. There's 2015 Car Mechanic Simulator, there's a 2021 one I think, and this one I probably just picked it up in a sale or in a Steam sale or some other package that I bought from there, and it's kind of fun. We had a lot of fun before with Tank Mechanic Simulator, which is a great game, so this is part of the reason. I'm not particularly into cars, but I thought this one seemed quite interesting. So why don't we just get in there? This is not a start from fresh, I've already been playing for a while, but let's get in there and we can have a look at what the game is all about. Welcome to my garage. This is not the basic garage you start out with. The initial one is just sort of one room, but as you unlock skills and experience, be quiet phone, as you unlock new skill levels from XP, then you open up new areas such as a new bay to put cars into, another room. So I've got a room in here which is the test track in here, and you can unlock other things as well. So I didn't want to be in a position where I had nothing unlocked. I also didn't want to be in a position where I had everything already unlocked from there. So, for example, one of the key rooms is the paint room, and that isn't unlocked yet, sadly. But we can do some fun things in here, and I can show you what the game's all about. And you could decide if you want to get it yourself and play it yourself as well, or the 2021 version. Anyway, so what is the game? What is the purpose of the game in here? Well, there's two modes as far as I can see it. One, not the camera. Is to do jobs for people. Average Joe and Jane Schmo are coming to us and saying, I want my car fixed in some way or another. And that's what a lot of these things are. These are all phone calls coming in. What have we got in here? Repair or replace body parts. Fine. Okay. Loud exhaust. They've got various levels of description. Sometimes they tell you exactly what they want repaired. Other times they just say, I don't know what's wrong. Here's a good one. We'll take that one. And there's the car in from there. The other version of the basic repair is these ones up here, which are story orders. Now the story orders are it's not really your story, it's more the fact that there's a continuous theme going on here. So you'll often have people coming back again and again to see you with these particular orders. And they, for example, we've got the recurring characters like the boy racer who's putting things on YouTube, and he's thrashing his crappy hatchback that he's got, keeps breaking it, has to bring it back to us to fix it. Or the guy with the city style SUV who likes to drive it out in the countryside, which it's not really designed to do, despite being an SUV, so it gets thrashed again, and so it comes back. We had someone who was like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off reference in there as well. Anyway, and these jobs are a little bit different. They usually pay out more and they give you a bit more XP, and they can be quite interesting as well. So we'll take that one as well. And there it is. Oh god, it's this car. Is that the same one as before? I can't remember. I think I've seen this one. Anyway, no, it's a different model car. And then the other thing is like this beauty up here. We're going to go and get cars, buy cars ourselves, and then do them up. Okay, let's start with the basics. So here's the car, this crappy thing here, and they're all like related to real world cars in some way or another. So what have we got in here? A Salem Kieran. I'm sure that refers to probably an American car of some sort. I don't know, but we've got a bunch of problems on here. Cars hard to control. Find and fix running gear problems. Transmission is noisy. The thing's a wreck. Repair all gearbox faults. Repair damaged body panels. Now this can vary. This can say in the order summary somehow like, I've got knocking noises in my car or something else, or they give you a more defined definition of what the problems are up here. But you can see here we don't actually know what's wrong with it. All the parts are not discovered yet, and there's not the body panels. It will tell you that because they're a bit more obvious, but all the things inside the car we can't tell. So when you first start the game, you're limited in how you can work out what's going wrong with it. Pretty much just looking at it, opening it up and having a quick look. So we can have a look in here. Game, do not start I'm getting a bit of tearing and lag here. I might have to reduce my settings slightly. Give me a second. Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's causing all the lag. I've simplified the graphics to some degree, which I didn't need to do when I was playing the game before, but never mind. We'll see how we get on with things. Weird spikes. Maybe Windows is doing something. This game should certainly be playable as I have been playing it without problems. Anyway, so we have a bunch of problems in the car. How are we going to find out what they are? Well, there's a few different tools that we have to do that. For example, over here, zoom in on the car a little bit, I've got a bunch of tools that I've unlocked. You don't get these at the start. You can do various things with these. So, for example, the electronic meter, because you want to do as much as possible. As an expert mechanic, you want to do as much as possible without having to actually take the car apart to find out. So I'm not doing anything, by the way. I'm just running through a timer there. We can see, for example, some of the health or the durability of some of the parts in the car. So everything's color coded and percentage marked. Anything in orange means it's not great. It's worn, but it's okay. Yellow means slightly wear. Green is okay, or up to perfect condition. And then what we're really looking for is the red items, which are broken to various degrees, or missing completely in some cases. So we didn't think we'd find anything in here from the symptoms of the car, but that's one way of looking at things without actually opening it up. The alternative might be, for example, I can use the examine mode. I can look at this engine head cover here. It's yellow, so it's in okay condition. I can look at this one here, then that's also the timing covers also. But some things, it won't let you. It says you've got to use a test path to look at this, for whatever reason. You can't just look at it, you know. Or you can examine it by taking it off the car. And we want to do that as little as possible until we need to. So let's do something else. Let's use another tool. We can use a compression tester. That tests like how good your cylinders are in the car and things like that. That's not great, is it really? That's a low value, but it's not broken. Nothing's broken in here. The crankshaft and the piston rings or piston rods and rings are all okay. Is this car? It's probably new enough to have a OBD. It doesn't. Can't do that. It hasn't got an onboard diagnostic system. So we've run out of things to do. Oh, we can do fuel test, which again is not really relevant. This is the fuel pump and the fuel tank. Is there pressure in there? It's probably fine. Okay, everything's yellow in there, so it's not that. But we didn't expect that anyway from the parts that are in there. Noisy, transmission is noisy, and the gearbox problems and all the rest of it. Let's do something else instead then. Let's do another sort of test. We can go to move the car. We'll move the car to the test path. Are you going to let me move around without jerking, game? You being okay? Good, okay. Test path's in here. Here it is. This is the sort of thing you actually get in a garage. In some of them, we do a path test. This looks at... Oh god, start it. Okay. That's not great, is it really? Sounds like a muscle car, the noise it's making. Test the brakes and elements of the suspension. So we can see there are up the top left. Overall, as an average percentage, our front and rear brakes are okay. They're all right. That's not the problem. And let's try the suspension. Bounce it around. This is an average value. That does not sound good. This is an average value for all of the parts. Oh, we've got an immediate red, and although the one below for the right-hand side wheel suspension is orange, certain parts, as an average, certain parts of it might be really quite busted. And I imagine the rear suspensions are pretty bad as well. Wow. Okay, but here's the summary. Front shocks, the rubber bushings and various other things are not good. And if we look at the car status now some of them are marked. Yeah? Transmission's noisy. We haven't got the gearbox things though, and the panels are easy to know anyway. So some of the things have been ID'd for us. And that means if we move the car back to... We'll put it on the lifter actually. Put it on the car lifter over here so we can have a look underneath it. Have a shufty, have a butcher's. Let's lift it up with the old pneumatic lift here. Up we go. There's two other indicators under here. Well, first of all, let's do an overview mode. Now, the parts that we've ID'd through our tests or actually physically looking at them, are now colour coded. So we can see the lower suspension arm here is gone, and so is the shock partly. We can pull those parts out immediately. There's another indicator as well, as you've probably noticed. Rust. The game uses rust to indicate the general quality of the parts in the car. The more rusty it looks, the more knackered it probably is. And also, so the example with this one here, the suspension part was red in terms of quality. It's pretty rusty indeed. But another way of doing it, well, actually there's one more way of doing it, but it's my least favourite way of doing it, which is we can take the car on a test run. There's a test track we can head out to, and we can go and drive it around that and see how it goes. Personally, I detest using that method, partly because it takes time and it's not very nice. Secondly, okay, on a grand scheme of things, I wouldn't expect a mechanic to do that unless it's a really important car. You're not going to drive it to a test track and run it around there. You're going to look at the darn thing that's under there and judge from the parts or your knowledge what's going to be wrong with the car. Also, I have a keyboard and mouse controls, and keyboard and mouse driving is horrible. So this is on a consoles as well, but that's another reason not to do it. So what that would do would look at things like the cross member over here, the main parts of the subframe, and examine those parts. We can look at those ourselves. So let's start taking some of this car apart. I've taken the wheels off because we don't really need to do that. Or the car, they tend to get in the way of other bits and pieces. But for example, can we take off the suspension yet? No, we cannot. We know the shocks are probably shot. There's something in the way. We can't take it off, and you can see that part because it's outlined in red. So the sway bar front end link is to come off. Now, as we take this off, if you look in the top left, 14% health. So that bit's broken as well. So we'll get another one of those in a minute. And front shock absorber, we'll take that off as well. Like that. Yes, that's the phone buzzing in the background way. Jobs will come and go as the time runs out. We don't need to care about them. We can never manage all of the jobs that are coming in. It doesn't really matter. We'll grab the best ones we can. Both sway bar front end links A's are gone. We'll come back to that in a minute. Because there's one other important thing we need to know about this repairing this thing. Let's get these shocks. Right. Sway bar front end link. Before we actually go and buy a replacement part, another important value on this summary of the car is this down here. Repair with minimal parts condition. So these guys are not expecting a brand new parts all the time. Joe and Jane Public want their precious vehicle back so they can go and do their job or whatever it is, collect their kids, all the things they need to do. So they would like new parts on there, but they're not always that bothered. As long as they're happy with second-hand parts. And we have got second-hand parts because I've been doing this for a while, so I've gotten parts of other cars, either from scrap ones or various other things, and to some degree I can repair parts, but not particularly well at the moment. So I don't have to buy brand new parts for them. I can see if I can just put on some good enough parts, and that will do it. Right, by the way, let's get this. We know this one's broken. We'll take this off as well. Lower suspension arm. Okay, pretty much broken. Have I got a replacement? Oh, wonderful. Before we do anything else, let's have a visual inspection of these. That's also broken. That needs to come off. Anything in red, remember, needs to come off. That's okay. That I need to take off the actual card. I know it's on. That's knackered as well. Let's have a look at the rack. Is the steering rack broken as well? It looks pretty busted. This is one of the parts that you have to kind of take off. So if we take off. Also, while we're here, we need to look at the general condition of other parts of the car. 48% for that. It doesn't need to be replaced. But we do need to bear that in mind, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Right, first of all, let's get this thing off. We know this knuckle mount has got to go. Look at these brakes as well. 56, 60%. The reason I worry is I want to put the right parts back on again. And what you moaning about? Oh, the bearing's going to come out. That is also broken. Yes, front wheel hub. Okay, lots of bits are broken there. And front steering knuckle A. And before I forget to put those back on again, let's do the same. Let's just strip this thing down, shall we, from here. Take off the brake calipers. So if you don't know much about cars, I know a little bit about cars, but not very much. If you don't know much about cars, this is a great game for telling you some of the key parts on there. Not exactly how they all work and how they go together, but it gives you an idea of what bits are in there. Which is always kind of fascinating, I think. No, I can't take that off. I don't want to take the suspension arm off unless I have to. Can I just not just take this off of here? No, I need to take off the tie rod. And that should be enough to get this off. You really want me to take that off so I can get... Can't I just undo that bolt there? Really? Fine. Really difficult about it, game. Stripping the whole car down. Steering rack? 13%, yeah, that needs repairing as well. The sway bar needs to come out. I'm betting these are knackered as well, these rubber bushings. No, actually they're not. I'm surprised. Usually when the suspension's gone, this is fixing the engine, the crossbeam back into the main body of the car. And I'm quite surprised they're not more broken than this. Come on, give me that bushing over there. Right, we'll put those back in again then, as far as that goes. Now, this is why I'm looking at what the health of the parts are that are not broken in the car. I've got lots of parts sitting in my inventory. I don't want to give them nearly fixed rubber bushings because what they've got there is they've got a bunch of I've just taken a bunch of like mid-quality rubber bushings off of their car. I don't want to just replace. There were good ones. They're not paying me for that. They're paying me for putting the just fixing the really broken ones. So I don't want to put too good of parts back on there again. That's how you lose your margins, and that is the whole purpose of this part of the game. Okay, it can get a bit samey after a while when you've done the umpteenth steering rack. But the point is, this part of the game is about you raising money so you can do the actual interesting stuff, which is some of the story mode and making your own cars. Do I have a steering rack? I do. There you go, it's a steering rack from another car at some point, but it's good enough for what these guys need. Because remember, what they need is 43%. I could probably get away with a crappier steering rack than that, but I'm in a good mood, so they can have a slightly better one. Oh, that's how generous I am. Okay, what other parts have we got? Have we got any steering knuckle A's? No, they're all crap, the ones I got off of here. Let's go to the shop. There's loads of shops in here for different bits and pieces. Import for the rarer parts, body shop for the panels. Interiors, I haven't even looked at that. But we want knuckle A, if I can spell knuckle or part of knuckle. Front steering knuckle A, we'll get 2 of those. So these parts are going to be charged back to the customer, but as far as I know, we only charge them for the parts they need replaced. So again, if I put a bunch of new parts on that I didn't actually need, then I'm wasting my money. That might not be your front axle knuckle cover, but you're getting it because it fits the rating of what you need. So that's fine. Pop this back on again. So sometimes the game feels like a bit like you're scamming people. Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. Is that worse than the brake pad you had on it before? I don't know. We're not going to worry about it. The other thing I'll say about this game is I have been having idle fun with this game. It's the sort of game that's fun to play if you've got some music on in the background. There's music in the game. It's not really the kind of music that I like, but it's music in there. But I'm not playing it for the usual YouTube reasons of YouTube hating music and wanting to copyright strike me for everything. So there's no music in it. But it's the sort of game that is fun to play with music on in the background. It's kind of relaxing. It's get to a little groove of things. By the way, this is a multi-part. A number of them are multi-parts like this. So this needs a couple of bushings in there as well. There's rubber supports in there as well. So I'll click those ones, put them in there. Yeah, it feels like you're scamming people sometimes in the game. That's nice. Front sway bar, we need a new one of those. We shall do that. And the shock. is a different case altogether. We'll look at that in a minute. Front sway bar. This is also quite a boring car. This is a very boring, kind of modernish, but not very modern car, which is fine. Where's the there we go. Where's the tie rods? Do I have any tie rods? I've usually got some laying around. It's quite a common part. I think goes in a lot of cars. I've got some crappy ones. You can have those. There we go. And we'll see if I've made mistakes in this later. Now, before we do anything more on the other side, front shock absorber A. Shocks are also compound parts. But first of all, you have to take them apart. So things like wheels are the same as well. This is the front shock absorber A, made of 3 parts. The shock itself, the cap, and the spring. And you can actually see the cap is fine, but the shock absorber and the spring are busted. And on this one, all 3 parts are busted. So we can get some replacements for that. Yeah? I might have some in there in the thing of it. Well, it's a common part. We'll get some anyway. So we need a spring. Front springs are different from back springs, so we'll get 2 of those. We want a shock absorber. Type A, front shock A. There we go, 2 of those. And then front shock absorber caps as well. We'll get 2 of those. So now we've separated that. Let's take the parts off. And a lot of the mechanics in the shop work like in this exactly way. You put some bits on, and then you take some bits off. Let's take this one apart as well. Takes a moment to do it. Phone, be quiet. If I could turn that damn phone off, I would. It's irrelevant to me. I don't care. There we go. Now we can now put some parts together. No, not that one. That's a different part I've got sitting there. Front shock absorber A plus. No, they're all knackered. Okay. I'm being cheap again, I know. And you can have a slightly crappy spring on there. There we go. By the way, toolbox is where you see your XP. I can actually have an XP, an increase in skill. What do I want to do next? I can examine 9 parts when finding a car for the first time. So this is buying new cars. I have a discount in the shop. Better recycling. I think I want better recycling. I had to build up to this, but I don't really care about another room yet. I'm faster moving. I want to repair parts more efficiently. Is what I want to do. We can look at that in a second. Let's do another one. Let's do front shock absorber A, front spring, and the cap. There you go. Right, you do that. Over here, repair bench. So here, I don't know how it chooses which parts you're allowed to repair and which ones you aren't. I know it's like a critical number, like if you have enough of them. What noises you make in the background? You just dropped something. I don't know how it decides what you're allowed to repair and what you aren't. But there you go. But what I try to do, at the moment I've got a 65% chance of repair. That can go up to like 95% chance later on. There you go. It's now 64%. Drive shaft. That one, I could have put this straight back on the car. Brake shoes. Oh, that one broke. Never mind. Brake servo. It's okay, but not good enough. There we go. Manifolds. Every now and then I try to do some of these. I try to push a lot of them to crunch, into at least the yellow if I can. But, you know, but there you go. That's what I'm doing. So I can just do stuff like that. But personally, I'd rather increase my. I'd rather increase the quality of my repairs. I've got loads of spare parts in there anyway, as far as that goes. Right. Anyway, what were we doing? We were doing this. Get this spring off of here. I'll try not to swing around too fast so we don't get so much tearing and other problems with this game. It seems to have settled itself down again. I think there's a momentary bit at the start where it's being funny. I'm not funny, ha. Mount parts. Let's put a new shock back on there again. There you go. That's your shock done that you were worried about. And then your sway bar. They're both broken, aren't they? And that one's okay. There's a brand new one there. And I can put a partly broken one on the other side. I think we're done on this bit here, you know. No, we're missing the bearings. We need the bearing in there. It'll only highlight things once you're ready to put them on there. What's your repair? 43%. So we can put the crappy bearing on there because it's 45%. There we go. Wheel hubcap. Sure. One of them. That's probably better than you deserved. And then the wheels. And then you can see there's two parts to the wheel. You've got the rim and you've got the tyre, both with quality levels. So how are we doing with the car in general here? We've replaced some of them. We haven't done the transmission yet. But we've done a lot of the pieces over here. Some of those could be rear. Oh, hold on a second. Are there any unknowns? No, they're all knowns in here now. We've found all the ones in here, which is why the cars... that could be steering. That could be the actual steering, like the power steering. But we'll find out in a minute. What else have we got in here? How is it looking in here anyway, in general? Okay. Okay, as far as that goes. Hopefully I've not missed anything. Let us put these parts back on again. We need a front steering knuckle A. We need a knuckle cover, which we'll do. Wheel hub, which I might have just repaired. Saving some money. Front disc ventilated. Let's have a cheap one. Here we go. Brake pads. That'll do ya. Brake calipers. It's always interesting to see how different cars of different ages fit together and do their various parts. You'll often find the older cars have got leaf springs in the back. You know, back to like what a carriage has on it. Excuse me, getting messages. That distracted me. I'm doing videos right now. I'll do videos. Get that on there. That'll sort some of it out. Lower suspension arm. Sure. There we go. I think I've missed something on the other side, but I can't have done because the wheel's gone back on again. Yeah, it's kind of zen, isn't it, doing this? It's kind of fun. What are we missing? The bearing? Wheel bearing. That's too low. 50% will do, yeah. Wheel hub cap. And then... oh, tie rods. Okay, we need some tie rods. Fine, we haven't bought anything for a while. I don't mind buying more things if I have to. They're only a few quid each anyway. So what are you worrying about? I want to see how... I'm not sure if time is a factor in how quickly you repair the vehicle. It might be. You do get a bonus for it in various ways, but I don't know what that bonus is based upon. As long as we get something for it. Hold on a second. That's so cheap. And the tyre goes back on again. The wheel goes back on again, rather. He's one of those pneumatic drill things. There, those are good fun. Right, how are we doing, car? We have not fixed that yet. We've done that, though. Gearbox faults. Okay, well, let's get the gearbox off then, shall we? Which we'll probably have to take some other things off first. So this is an older. This is a moderately older car. And a look at the style of it. And then we need to get this. This thing is in the way, so we'll get the drive shaft off. There we go. This gearbox looks fairly knackered. What's your problem? What's in the way? Is it the starter? Yeah, the starter we have to get from above for some reason. I don't know why you can't reach the starter. I presume the bolts are in the wrong place. What else is broken in here? That looks kind of... the ABS looks a bit knackered. Brake servo I think is actually okay. Starter, is your starter broken? The starter's okay. While we're here... I haven't got an OBD scanner. Let's just take it off, shall we? Didn't say about the brakes. No, it's okay actually. Oh my god, 1%. It's falling apart in your hands. There you go. Right, and then the other one was... I want to look at... Did I not take the starter off? thought I did. Did I take something off by accident there? Never mind. That needs to come off. Where is... There's the alternator. Where is the power steering pump? I thought it might be that for this car to control, but it looks okay. Fine. We'll get the gearbox done anyway. That's going to be a right rusty mess is what it is. Gearbox i4 rear wheel drive. Okay, remember that. That's in a bad way. We've got the clutch release bearing, which is broken. Clutch release plate. I actually know what a clutch release plate does, but there you go. Clutch plate. And then the flywheel. This is quite expensive. Okay, let us see what we've got in the box of goodies. Flywheel, we've got a broken, only slightly broken one. This one's a special item that you can find extra improved items in crates and things. Not loot crates, different sorts of crates, but that one's too good for you. Sort of thing you'd use for you know, cars that you're doing up where you want to have extra high quality in there. Just look for a clutch. We should find all the parts that we need. We won't necessarily use all brand new here. And again, you might think I'm being cheap here, but there is a reason to my madness, and we'll find that out in the next bit of work that we're doing. Oh, hold on a second. Cheap one. 43%, remember? Mr. 43%. Ah, 42. Never mind. And we need a Gearbox i4 rear wheel drive, which probably ain't cheap. The flywheel is one of the most expensive parts. i4. There we go. In case you're wondering, by the way, money. I do have a lot of money, well, quite a bit of money over here. It is possible to run out of money. I once got a bit excited buying new cars and almost blew all of my money away on everything. And I got very lucky with some basic jobs that managed to get me my money back. But if you haven't got enough money to buy something, you haven't got enough money. I had to sell some of my quality parts. Not my parts, car parts. No one's going to want to buy my parts, probably. Too old and wrinkled. Spare some of my parts to have enough money to do it. I survived by the skin of my teeth. Oh, it was a broken save. Oh, in there. Running gears all done. Transmission's noise is fixed. Gearbox faults were listed separately, but they're all done. So the only thing we're going to do is like every panel in the goddamn car, by the looks of it. Let's look at that again. Hold on. You want... What was that? Oh! There's a couple of parts we haven't found. I bet I can guess what they are, actually. We'll come back to that. We might have to do a driving track for that. Should we just do that now? Let's get it over and done with, shall we? What the bloody hell is this car called? It's a Salem or Salem Karam or something. Let's go and do the goddamn horrible test track. Oh, the starter missing. Okay, I forgot about that. That's what I need. I took it off for the to do the gearbox. For some reason, starters seem to get in the way of gearboxes. Seems like a common thing, a common ailment. So cheap. Look, it makes no difference to the price of the car. Thank you for repairing my car. It doesn't seem to start quite... It starts 3% worse than it used to. Okay, let's try again. Have I missed anything else off the car? I do occasionally. Right, here we go. Welcome to the awful bloody test track. Here we go. Oh, the pickup is so slow. But not as bad as the controls, because all I've got is left and right. I've got like on and off. Oh, the noise. Also, why are these cars all automatic? They don't change gears. I can't change gear myself. It makes it sound like a wounded animal. Oh God. Wow, we reached second gear. Detestable. I hated every second of it. Right. Oh, it's part of, oh, okay. It's two of the rear suspension parts. I could have found those then by looking at it, but never mind. That was the test track. I will not be doing that ever again. Why is there a furry nose being stuck between in my office? Dog? Nosy boy. Sticking his face in here. Right, so yeah, this is an older version of a car where you've got these suspension plates back here holding the whole thing on. Not the really old ones. The really old ones have actually got a leaf spring back here, but it's some of these that have actually gone wrong. If I do that, there you go. So it's that one there and that bolt. Those are the two things that are wrong. So over here, game. Gotta take both of these off. I should have spares of those. That'll do. Yeah, I must say, when I did start the game though, I did have one complaint, which is that, given that I'd played mechanics simulator games before, like the tank one, I had to fight a bit with the interface. Like the fact that you have to do something on a vehicle, you have to zoom in on it by clicking on it, and then you have to do things to it. And I did spend several minutes to start the game trying to work out how the heck do I just take the parts off, because it doesn't tell you in the tutorial how to do it. Maybe in the 2015 game tutorial it does, but in this one I just found, for a not stupid person, I'm really slightly idiotic, I did have a lot of trouble and frustration at the start of the game trying to work out what the heck do you actually want me to do here. It was how to interact with the thing. It was frustrating. Again, probably a lot of people would say, hey, it was goddamn obvious, but for me, it wasn't really. Okay, is it almost every part, apart from the bonnet? It looks like it. I'll never remember all these. Front left door trunk. We'll do it as we go. Okay. Hold on. Let's go to the body shop. It's a Salem thing. Ah, there's more than one though. That's not right, is it? What's the spelling? I've got the spelling wrong. Salem Kieran. Looks like a Ford Fiesta. That isn't a rear-wheel drive. Probably Salem K will be enough. No, Salem Flamo. Don't call it a Flamo. What's wrong with you? Who would call their car a Flamo? Then again, things like the Sharan and various other things are. I think it's supposed to be Saharan. No, it is Sharan, isn't it? Another goddamn Pinto. Other goddamn awful names for cars. Anyway, what was I doing? Left headlight, was it? Left headlight and left door? Or front left fender? I can't remember. I've immediately forgotten. Oh. Front left door, trunk, front right fender. Okay then. So, as you can probably tell, the game does not go in too much for the actual exteriors of the car, making them look nicer. It might do a little bit more with the interiors. I haven't played around much with interiors at the moment, so I don't know. And you can do painting and things like that, but it's mostly about the engines, I think, as far as that goes. Oh, that's missing entirely. No, it doesn't. I just haven't taken it out yet. There we go. not overview mode. I haven't done much with bodywork, which is my excuse. It's not a good excuse, but there you go. We need to do... Have I got a front left door? Can't remember. Yep, front left door, so we've got to take the mirror off, I think. Does the mirror come off automatically? It does. And the window comes off as well. Will you be quiet, phone? Usually I don't actually have my headphones on playing this game. This is one of the reasons. What else do we need to do? Oh, the headlights. Kill the headlights and put it in neutral. There we go. How are we doing now? We're nearly done. Front right fender and left tail light. Have I actually replaced all that? I got a feeling I haven't put this window back in again. I think I have. Is this car now done? It will tell us if it isn't. I might have removed something that I need to put back on again. There we go. A little painful. We spent 4,000. I don't know where the bonus comes from. How you get the bonuses from there. Job bonus there. 12,000. What? What do you mean? Oh no. What's off then? What have I done that is not good enough? Oh god, this is going to be a pain. I've embarrassed myself now by taking something off that I shouldn't have done. Very embarrassing to do this on you, do this on a recording. But I've never had this problem before. It's my first time. Well, I have no idea what that was because I took off, turned the parts, put them back on again, and it was happy. Nothing else changed. But there we go. That was a weird glitch. Nice to have those recorded for prosperity. Posterity. Oh my god, I'm just losing it completely. Next time, we're going to look at this beast here, which is the next job, which is the story job. Not sure if I recognise this person or not. Might be easier. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. I hope you join me again for the story job next time, followed by me playing around with new old cars, buying old cars, and trying to turn them into something that isn't complete junk. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.